Hey guys, so obviously I'm recording this, later. I'm actually about to record the last scene of the video because, I just finished Ollie Octopus. Pretty happy with the results. One thing is gonna, bother me for my entire lifetime, but I'll tell you guys more about that in the next, well, technically the last scene of this video. This is technically, well, it's kind of like a, hi guys, welcome back to another video, because obviously, right after this, you guys are gonna hear me, go on about how I was gonna make this into a two-part video, and then decide not to make it into a two-part video. But then and I'm not gonna edit any of that out because obviously I made it a two-part video. I mean, so that's why I did end at the end off the other one. But I not gonna edit that out because I'm lazy and I'm tired. It's like 9 o'clock and I am tired. So anyways, this is the part 2 of Ollie Octopus, fixing Ollie Octopus. Like I said, really happy with the results. Yeah, see you guys in the second part of this I don't know what to say. See you in the second scene, I guess. See you in a second. So, if you guys noticed that was a bit weird right there, it was because I cut the video. Or I cut the end off of that clip because I said, oh, bye, guys. Or I didn't because I got lazy. But I'm going to make it all one video because this is obviously the next day. And I decided that I didn't really record the latex process. I'll do it with my next one. Because this one, like I said, he's got the cracking. And I kind of had to experiment with him. But anyways, boom, body. I've got some stretch rejuvenator here I'm using on him. And yes, today my original stretch Armstrong came in. Whoop-de-doo. You know, that's pretty nice. But so here's the body. You can't see it too good on camera, but if you really look, I left the cracks. I really honestly do not care about them. Like, I know it could look better if I coated his entire body with latex, and as it was drying, I was looking at it, I thought about it, and I was like, I coat the inside. I like to make them to the point where they'll hold corn syrup, but not really make them look any better than they really do. Like, I don't want people thinking this is something that, you know, either I made or just this is like a custom body. No, I want people knowing this is an original body. So the fact that, yes, it's cracking, it has damage, that lets you know that it's an original body, you know. So I left that. I peeled all the latex off while it was still drying. But he had a hole in his neck. You can see I fixed that with some blue latex, or well, some, you know, blue tinted latex. Fixed a hole up there in the neck flange. You know, I coated the entire inside like I normally do. And I put extra on the hole over here. And something I didn't notice until I actually got his head off and drained him was that this side was like a lot more stretched out and worn out than this side. For most part, you know, he's like not one that's like been really worn out and stretched out, and so he's like all big and pudgy, like some get, which is just, once I get to that point, it's just kind of sad. Those ones, in my opinion, are ones that should have their heads pulled, neck pegs pulled, original syrup drained, and if they have clothing, pulled off, and then sadly throw the body out, because that's just, there's no, unless you like cut them, pull them back, and you know, there is a very long process that could go into fixing one like that. And, you know, you couldn't, and with some of these, like, depending on which one it is, it's a friggin' Mego Elastic Donald Duck, then yes, obviously that's what you're gonna do, but if it's a stretch Armstrong, are you really gonna do that, you know? But, like, I would, most likely, but, my other stretch Armstrong came in today. He's a little bit worse off than I originally anticipated. He's a lot crackier, like his latex cracked a lot more than originally anticipated. But I've been using Stretch Rejuvenator on him, and it's looking better already. Yeah. Mainly it's just his 1 foot and his arm, or, well, maybe his 1 arm. Both on opposite sides. His 1 foot and his arm are, like, the worst. And he's torn at the neck, and both arms have cracks in them that are leaking. And the foot. But the main place he's leaking is from his neck. I'll do another video on him eventually. Maybe no time soon. But as far as this goes, the body's ready to be refilled, and that's kind of the next thing I'm going to do. No, I'm not going to record that process, because that's just a long, stressful process that will definitely, you know, eventually I'll do like a time-lapse or a something or other of me doing one of these. Honestly, I might do it with the original stretch, just not with this one. This won't be the end of this video. So this is the end of this part of the video anyways, though. So I will now, this time, see you in a second. Hey guys, so this is going to be second to last part of this video. Sadly, the last part of this video might not be able to record until tomorrow. Well, it'll at least be a couple hours, but... So, as you can see, we have a full Ollie octopus. He is, you know, obviously much more bendable now. You know, new syrup. The way the tentacles are bending are pretty much how he's always going to be. They're actually a little cold right now, so they're a little bit more solid than they will normally be. Have his head right here, obviously, so you can just imagine, you know, Ollie octopus. Once he's back together, and you can see around the neck peg, I put some latex up here around so it won't leak out. I know they used to have the epoxy, like, around the neck. I actually, for him, he had zip ties, like a 90s stretch, so that was kind of interesting. That's something that really caught my attention, was the fact that he had zip ties, unlike the more common thing for their era, which was they all had O-rings. But because he has a slightly bigger neck peg, I guess, and he has like the double thing where the normal stretches only have 1. Like earlier in this video, you guys seen his neck peg, obviously. This is what's an original Stretch Armstrong neck peg looked like. Was this little thing. This freaking big bulky neck peg. It was this tiny this little thing. And it only had 1 O-ring. And he had zip ties. But so I just put a rubber band in each, the bottom and the top for him. Then I put some of the little clear beading string around the bottom one, which worked pretty good. And then instead of using epoxy, I just added some more latex, because it seemed to work well. The only place obviously, like I said, I coated the entire inside of him. He had the 1 hole right here, and you can still see I just did not worry about the cracks, because there's nothing you can do, really, you know, unless you're coating the entire outside of the figure, and I don't want to do that. So I fixed the neck flange, and I put some more around the neck flange just to be sure, you know, we don't have any trouble. Or I don't have any trouble anyways. Then I put some in there when I sealed it so it will, you know, kind of help bond it almost to the neck peg. And then I put some around the top just to really prevent leakage of corn syrup, but not to permanently put it on there in case he were ever to, you never know. Like back when the Mego elastics were new, they would just randomly burst open. If you were to burst open on my shelf one day out of the blue, I'm gonna have to, you know, open him back up again, sadly, and then, you know, redo him. Hopefully that never happens, but it is what it is. So I put another coat of Stretch Rejuvenator on him from StretchArmstrongWorld.com. Works great. Yeah, the next thing I will do is I will put his head back on. And you can see the way that his kind of tentacles, like I bend them up, and they kind of slowly bend back down. Not as slow as they originally would have, but kind of slower. Compared to, I have here the one I did the other day. This Stretch, who is a new Stretch, so I can stretch him, you know. But where he's just like, automatically goes back to his original shape, where I'm not going to stretch Ollie, but I will bend him, you know. Ollie just kind of, it takes him a little bit longer. He's a little bit slower with his return. And he, like I said, he is still kind of warm. I don't know if I said that yet or not. He's still kind of warm. I recently did this like 20 minutes ago. So, kind of more like confirming on the whole how exactly I do the syrup. About, you know, about a bottle, and I decided maybe a bottle and a little bit more. A bottle and just a tad bit more for the amount you put in there. You know, a bottle and about maybe I'm just gonna say a bottle and a half of corn syrup just to be safe. For a 90 stretch figure, I might do 2 bottles, but we'll see. But as far as this goes, a bottle and a half of corn syrup is about good. Which I boiled for like, and like when I say boiled, I mean it was bubbling for like 30 to 35 minutes. You know, stirring every like 5 to 10 minutes or so, you know, stirring it every now and then. To keep it from bubbling for too long. Actually, honestly, probably stirring it about every 5 minutes. That boils the moisture out. And then adding in the original syrup. The way I do it, to get, you know, when I'm draining a figure, I'll drain it into a tub. So I'll have the original syrup. I will then, for like 5 to 10 minutes, freeze the syrup and bang it on the counter. And it'll, like, after a couple, you know, whacking it down on the counter, it will come out of the container, which is, you know, loud. But, you know, who cares? And then you just put that in the, you know, well, you know, leave the thing on, obviously on the oven, and then you wait for it to melt, you stir it in, and you mix it up for like maybe, you know, 2 to 5 minutes. Then you're ready to go. I have a tub of cold water. It doesn't have to be like ice freezing. That's actually not good to be too cold, but definitely not like room temp. Definitely colder than room temperature. I just turned my faucet to the cold side and filled it up with that. That worked. I then, you know, so as I'm filling it, I kind of have him in the water so that it's kind of cooling the corn syrup and helping it not, you know, mess up his body. I just love that he's like, you know, because ever since I've had him, he's not really been pliable. I mean, I was able to like poke in on him up here and dent him slightly, and it would never come back out. But now I can, you know, actually, I'm never gonna like actually stretch him or anything, you know. But he's back to the original way he was. I mean, besides the cracks, but I can live with that. That shows he's a freaking 47-year-old figure. Now, pretty much a 47-year-old collectible, but, you know, and like the thing with Ollie Octopus and Olivia Octopus is they were geared towards younger kids. So that's part of the reason why there's not many of them around. You know, I mean, a younger kid got thrown outside in the sandbox, got left outside in the sun, and just died, essentially. Got eaten. Because, yes, kids did that. They bit into them because it was filled with sweet corn syrup, and it tasted good. It was hung, and then they would eat their insides like a freaking cannibal. So I have something to show you guys over here. Bum ba ba bum. Stretch Armstrong. This is okay. Stretch. Keep your clothes on. Anyways, that's a little weird. Stretch Armstrong. Now got him today. Gonna do a video on him, and then I'll do a video of doing this to him, essentially, you know, restoring him. He's got some issues, he's got different issues than Ollie. His latex in places has done the thing where the only freaking figure I've ever seen do this is Stretch. Actually, the Mego Elastic Casper. The only two, I never owned one, but I've seen it happen to other people's. Which are the only two figures I've ever seen this happen to. Ollie's the only one I've ever really seen. Ollie and Stretch are the only two I've ever seen really crack like this. And then the only one that has, like, any other really abnormal, unique, I should say, defects that happened to it was the Mickey Mouse. The black latex gets, like, all these divots in it. It's, like, the corn syrup, like, eats the black latex, like, bad. But see, the thing is, it doesn't happen really to the 90s Stretch Ninja. But, like, black latex, obviously. So, I don't know. You know, that's just kind of what happened, whatever the mixture was there. But this guy has the problem where his latex has gone, like, rock solid in spots. Pretty much all over, but certain spots are better than others. Certain spots are worse than others. You know, it's like, it's bad. Like, bad. So, but see, if you can't see, he is leaking out of, he's leaking out of this arm. I think it's, yeah, this arm over here, he's leaking. He's gonna be leaking, like, everywhere, because when he was in shipping, he was cold, so it kind of all stayed in. I mean, a little bit did leak out the arm. He's leaking out of one of his feet. That's really bad. His neck. He's leaking out of the back of his neck, and his neck's in that thing where if you pull it, it's going to stretch the latex, which is not a good stage. It's a horrible stage. I don't know what's worse, that or the cracking. But he's in an okay shape. I'm gonna have to do this to him. I didn't want to have to. I'm gonna have to, you know, refilm and everything. Honestly, I was kind of hoping I could just wipe off his neck, put latex over it, and just call it good enough. That's not what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to be really gentle with him. I've been using Stretch Rejuvenator on him. Like, I've done it. You know, I'm gonna have to do it again. Like, I just barely did, like, a part of him, and it already kind of helped that. He had, if you can see, I don't know how good you guys can see from there. It looks a little lot better on the camera than it does in real life. But, like, up here and on some of his legs, he has, marks from the styrofoam. I only have the bottom of the coffin. I don't have the top. And the bottom's pretty beat up anyways. But it left styrofoam marks on him, and I'm kind of like scraping them off. But it's going to take me a while, and I'm sure they're never really going to fully come off. But once again, that just shows their age. You know, they've had these things happen to them. But I'm going to have to fix him. You know, keep putting Stretch Rejuvenator on his latex to keep it from completely decaying away, you know. His one foot, oh my god. Anyways, yeah, so he does have the cloth underwear. His left, there we go, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Left foot, this side, is really bad. But it did get better after I put the Stretch Rejuvenator on it, but it's still not great, you know? So I'm gonna end up draining him and everything, but for now, he's gonna lay in his coffin. You know, which if you don't know, if you're new, you don't know what a Stretch Armstrong is, you don't know what a Stretch Armstrong coffin is, you don't know what I'm calling a coffin, it's the white styrofoam thing. Originally it's coffin because normally it's have like a thing that goes over him, but you know, this one didn't have it. I have his original box. I have the Stretchograph, which was the big like piece of vinyl that had like the levels of stretch that like somebody'd grab his arms, somebody'd grab his legs, and you guys would like see how far you could pull him, you know. Sometimes the Stretchograph would lead to his demise, and sometimes people would try to use like Ollie on the Stretchograph, and like somebody'd grab one tentacle, somebody'd grab the other tentacle, they'd pull, and then Ollie would just become in half, which was not, or a Stretch Serpent too, you know. which in my opinion was never the smartest design, because the one thing they always said was don't never pull on Stretch Armstrong's head, because it could either pull it off or rip around the neck, because the neck was really weak. And I mean, Stretch Serpent was a snake. One end was the head, one end was the tail. Yeah, you're supposed to grab like behind the head and the tail and pull him. But you already know everybody grabbed the tail and grabbed the head, and that's part of the reason why a lot of them died. I mean, obviously they weren't really made, but yeah. This video is going to be really long, so I'm going to stop it here and see you when Ollie's all put back together. Hey guys, so obviously, we're back. This is the end of the video. Just recorded the beginning of this video because, like I said, I decided to make this into a 2-part video because I was going to do that and then decided not to, and then once again decided to do it again. So, Ollie Octopus, squishy. I like him. He turned out really nice. He's, you know, good as far as texture. One thing I'm not happy about is like the only thing. I mean, I'm sad that he's got the cracks in him. You can see it really good right now. I'm sad he has the cracks in him, but honestly, that's what you would expect out of a 47-year-old toy, so I'm fine with that. He ended up with an air bubble. It's a very small air bubble, and it's behind his neck. He has an air bubble right in here, and you can just kind of feel it's just like a little air bubble that just kind of goes along from like here about to like here, and it's just actually all the way over here, but just a small air bubble. I was so happy the other day when I did, and you can see he moves like he's just such a better. Now, let me get something to set my phone up on so you guys can see this a bit better, hopefully. Yeah, more my eye level now. I was so happy when I did this guy yesterday because I'm sure there's a very small air bubble up under his neck peg, but because his neck peg comes down a little bit, it's trapped, and I'll never have to deal with it. I smoothed out his neck peg on the bottom so it couldn't get trapped. Not the brightest thing I ever have done in the world. But I was really excited that didn't happen with this guy. But sadly it did happen with this guy, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna go redo him because of a freaking tiny air bubble. Now, if it was an air bubble that took up like an entire tentacle, yeah, I would redo him for that reason. But this guy, it's really nice to have him. I've had 2 of the 2016 Hasbro 12-inch figures, which I'm pretty sure they stopped selling. Because now all you can find is the 10-inch figures, because they made the 10-inch Stretch Armstrong figure, the 10-inch X-ray figure, and then Vac-Man was also he was like a 13-inch figure. There was a 12-inch figure of this guy, which went with Vac-Man, and, you know, but now he's gone. It is what it is, though. My first one, immediately went solid, freaking practically out of the box. Same with my new, the 2016 Ollie Octopus. Same thing happened with him. And Fetch, actually, they had some really crappy syrup in them. I don't know why, they just did. But, I mean, they went solid after freaking 2016 was 7 years ago. But, he's been, you know, pretty solid for, the past freaking 5. So they went solid in, 2 years. This is a 47-year-old action figure, and he's still slightly pliable, you know. The cracks in the one arm you can see are really bad. I don't know how good you can... Okay, that's gonna keep happening. anyways, he'll be in a whole nother video. This is probably a series with him because I'm gonna document this process a lot better. But I'm gonna start doing videos on, like, everything I do. I know normally I just do, you know, the inflatables, and then every now and again, stop motions here and there. I never really have the time to fit in stop motions in my busy schedule between school and just working on inflatables and doing this, but other things. I have a lot of hobbies I like to do, like classic cars. I like the inflatables, you know, I like, well, lots of things. I like puppets, I like, you know, stop motion, I like, you know, making little short films, I like making, you know, all those little things. But it's kind of hard to fit it all in. But when I have the kind of time to record a process, like doing this, I do. And I'm going to start trying to do that a lot more, especially because there's only 8 weeks of school left until summer. For me, anyways. Next year, I'm going to be in high school. So I know I've said this, like, every friggin' year for, like, the past 4 years about, oh, it's going to be summer, I'm going to try to upload a lot more. This year, I'm not lying. I mean, all the other years, you know, I just get lazy and I don't end up doing anything, or something comes up, you know, I get really busy over the summer. But next year, I'm going to be in high school. And I know trying to, you know, first year of high school, I'm going to be busy, and, like, YouTube is probably going to get, you know, I'm probably going to be taking a break from YouTube probably for at least a little while, beginning of the year, you know. I'm not going to have time to even think about this. Eventually, though, I might get a lot more, you know, steady paced with uploading, like, 1 video a week, something like that. But for now, I'm just gonna kind of upload videos as much as possible, as quick as possible. Like, not really as quick as possible, but just as many videos as possible. I'm gonna start trying to upload, but, like, not just about the inflatables, about everything, about these guys, about, you know, and now I can actually make community posts. So, like, when I get a new stretch figure or a new inflatable, if I can't get a video out, I might send out a community post, you know, just like, hey guys, you know, expect a video on this pretty soon, you know. And yes, I'm sure there'll be times when I say, hey guys, look at this, hopefully expect a video from this soon, and you guys are never gonna see a video. It just is what it is. But, yeah, I'm happy with the results of this video. This is another stretch figure saved from the eternity of time and a dumpster. If he was in somebody else's hands, honestly. Because that's what happens, sadly, to a lot of these things. People go find them in their attic and be like, oh, this is really fun when we had it for kids, you know, let's try to stretch it. Ripped in half. I'll talk about this more, probably, in the video I do on my, you know, original stretch Armstrong, which will hopefully be, you know, next 2 weeks. But, because, you know, this was Easter break, so I had time to record this. But I'm gonna go back to school on Monday. Today's Friday. I've got to go to an Easter party on Sunday, obviously, because it's Easter, woohoo. You know, yay, that's nice. And then tomorrow I gotta do some things, but that's gonna be it for this video. Like I said, I'm really happy with the turnout of this video. And yeah, that's really it for this video, guys. Bye-bye.